welcome to this edition of the Courtney Draper Show alongside the head coach, Mike Lefko, with you. And Coach, you had a pretty exciting weekend. Played in the Sundome, which has been a rarity, especially since it got remodeled. What was that experience like for you and the team?
Oh, it was amazing. It's something that our kids were really looking forward to all year, and it lived up to every expectation and then some. It was a great environment to play in, and so many compliments from our opponents' fans and our opponents themselves, the officials, our hometown crowd. I mean, it was a great atmosphere to play in. The band was phenomenal, and we had a really good time. When
we play here, you have these matches in the Corral. I know it's packed, but then to see the Sundome, the lower bowl filled, and then people in the upper deck as well. Were you able to take it all in? I know you had a match to focus on during those Saturday matches, but were you able to kind of see and appreciate how big that crowd really was?
Yes, and I actually got to visit with several of our fans pregame because, you know, in a tournament-style setting, the match before us actually went 5 sets, so we started a little bit later. So I got to, go and say thank you to a lot of people. We had some really important recruits on campus, and it was just, it was electric. It was awesome.
It was a tremendous crowd. Unfortunately, the team they played on that Saturday night, #1 team in the nation, Penn State, 2-time defending champs, and yes, Penn State did win. But for you guys to push them in a few sets, and then going back to last week on the road against #4 Nebraska, final 2 sets against them, neck and neck, does that give you encouragement? You were right with 2 of the top teams in the nation.
Yes. So we'll start with Nebraska, who, like you said, was last weekend #4 in the country. They played their competitive lineup the whole time, and in the third set we were up 23-21, and pushed it to 27-29. We ended up losing, but our kids showed incredible fight and what they're capable of doing. And as a staff, we're just trying to hold them to that standard all the time. And we keep telling the kids, if you can play at that level against everybody in the conference, it should still be a very successful conference season. Now, Penn State from this past weekend, they are #1 in the country, and they might not drop a set this year. They are an awesome team. Their size, their ability, their efficiency is just a whole nother level. But there too, we played them really tight. Our kids did a good job siding out. We made some great defensive plays, had some impressive kills. So there too, if we can teach the kids to play at that level all the time, no matter who the opponent is, I think conference season is going to be really fun.
That's coming up, conference season. To touch on a few individual performances, Alexis Heidelberg had 7 kills against Penn State, 17 digs against Auburn that morning, and then 10 digs on Sunday against Florida A&M. What a balanced weekend from her. I'm sure that was nice to see.
Yes, we're really proud of Alexis Heidelberg. She's good in so many areas, and her versatility is also a key to her success. She can play on the outside, the right side. She played some defensive specialists for us this weekend. So she really, she's passing well. She just puts our team in a better position to win.
You have plenty of outside hitters, but one other performance that probably stood out to you on Sunday against Florida A&M, Addison Goodnight, career high 11 kills. Is it nice to see another weapon emerging?
Yes. Not only did she have 11 kills, she hit a 667 on a pin. You might find that from a middle now and again, but for an outside or right side to have a performance like that is really, really impressive. And she's been working so hard in practice. Every practice she's been bringing it, and she really deserved that time that she got, and she took full advantage of it.
We usually talk about offense, but a defensive honor to mention. Once again, last weekend, Wiley Devlin was named the conference honor roll, 2nd straight week for the senior libero. So when you have that stable presence back there, how comforting is it?
Yeah, Wiley has had a great senior campaign. She, too, has played multiple positions in her career here at USF. She was a setter for us her first 2 seasons. And last year was more of a defensive specialist, and this year has really owned that libero role, and I'm really pleased that the conference has recognized her for that, because she too works hard every day in practice. She's a very important leader for us. She's our team captain, and I'm just really proud of her performance, as well as Nikki Koval, who has been a regular defensive specialist. With those 2 back there, I feel really confident in our passing and really confident in our defense.
Well, coming up, we'll talk with another young player on this team, sophomore setter Alex Mendoza. That's when the Courtney Draper Show returns.
This is where the legends live, waiting for someone with better innovation. From the brand that reinvented the t-shirt comes the Under Armour Speedform Apollo. This is our rocket ship.
Looking for an individual or family health care plan? Or maybe a dental policy? Look no further than the Tampa Florida Blue Centers in West Shore, Carrollwood, and Pinellas Park. For more information, go to floridablue.com or call the number on the screen.
Here with sophomore setter Alex Mendoza. And Alex, we're going to talk to you a little bit about the start of your sophomore season. I know the season's just gotten underway, but for you, sometimes college volleyball can be an adjustment for anyone as a freshman. What's been different for you this year coming into your second season?
Definitely just having to know the team. I know the hitters, I know the players, and everything flows a little bit better when you've played with the team for a year rather than just jumping in the first time. Volleyball
seems like it is so important to communicate and have that good relationship. So do you think that's been key for you now this year? Because, as you said, you know these girls for a whole year now.
For sure. The bond off the court and on the court definitely makes a difference when you've been playing with someone for more than a year. It definitely shows on the court.
For you personally, or maybe as a team, is there something that you picked out after last year that you said, hey, I want to improve on this, or I need to work on this before my sophomore season?
I definitely just did a lot of reps, just repetition, so I can be more consistent for my hitters, put them in a better position, and just know what they want every time so I can give them the best ball.
As a setter, you're in charge of running that offense, and as you said, setting up your hitters. What's important when that ball comes to you? What's kind of your mindset, or what can you break us down? What do you do when you're out there and that ball comes to you?
When the ball comes, you're just looking for the best matchup, put your hitters in the best position. I want to make sure that they have confidence so that I can give them the best ball and make them successful.
So you guys just finished your non-conference season. Now it's almost like a second slate here. 20 conference matches coming up. What's the mindset to say, hey, yeah, we had our non-conference and now let's focus on this new start?
Yeah, I definitely think that the preseason is kind of in the past and we've learned a lot of things. We know what we need to work on, and I think we're coming in confident to conference because we know it's a new slate and this is what we need to do now.
Is there some excitement as well? You have a lot of home matches to start this conference, 2 weekends at home. I'm sure it's always nice when you don't have to travel on the road.
Oh yeah, it's definitely good to start conference at home. I feel like it puts a lot of confidence in us. We can use our crowd and we can start conference on the right foot before we travel.
Well, that's sophomore setter Alex Mendoza. When we return, more of the Courtney Draper Show.
Once again, Tampa General Hospital is proud to be named the #1 hospital in Tampa Bay by U.S. News & World Report and recognized as one of America's best hospitals in 4 specialties: cardiology and heart surgery, nephrology, orthopedics, and urology. #1 in Tampa Bay, again, and one of America's best. Tampa General Hospital, trusted for our expertise, chosen for our care.
We just spoke with sophomore setter Alex Mendoza, and coach, for you to have someone like that come in on our sophomore year, I know as a freshman, sometimes, for anyone, any sport, it can be an adjustment to adjust to the college game. Now what has Alex done well here in her second season with you?
Yeah, and Alex got a lot of action as a freshman, and so she's almost a veteran now as a sophomore, and she's really understanding our system and what we're asking, how to spread the offense. And she really has one of the most consistent balls to our pins, which is really important for our outsides and right sides to have success.
Well, let's talk about conference play now. The non-conference season is over, and the conference is kind of interesting. You just 20 matches, playing every team twice, but there's no conference tournament. So how important does it make it to come into conference play and get off to a good start?
Yep, every match is important, and we really feel like we didn't have the preseason that we wanted, but we now have a fresh slate. We can't change anything that's happened. You know, we were without Denise Belcher for a while, without Molly Burghart for a while, without Clara Payne for a little while. I'm hoping that we are healthy, we're over the bumps, we've ironed some things out, and are really excited for a great year in the American Conference.
You mentioned fresh slate. How do you get that into the mind of the kids to say, yeah, we lost some matches in this non-conference, in this preseason, as you mentioned, but now it's a fresh slate. Whatever you do on the court is a good starting point. Right,
and we've just been that blunt about talking to them about that, and you know, watching film, watching the things that we do really well, watching some things that we still need to improve on, and just keeping it fresh and fun in the gym. I think that's really important, so that they enjoy their experience. It's all about the experience.
Plenty of time to come out to the Corral. The USF volleyball team is home for 4 matches to start conference season. This weekend, matches against Temple and then UConn, then another home weekend coming up. So to start off on this opening weekend, it's a good Temple team, it's a pretty competitive UConn team. What's the message to your team in this first conference weekend?
Yeah, and we really just got off of a match, you know, so we haven't even studied too much moving forward yet. But Temple always is a strong team, and they have a great setter who's super deceptive and hitters who are very efficient. So again, with a team like that, you really just have to control what you can on your side, be a great side out team, get kills when you can. And then, like you said, UConn is off to a great start with Chris Grunwald, phenomenal coach there, and I think that they'll be much improved this year too. So our kids have to stay focused and be ready to execute a game plan.
So it starts this weekend in the Corral, Friday night, 7 o'clock against Temple, then Sunday, 1 o'clock against Connecticut. See you out here this weekend, and thanks for watching this edition of The Courtney Draper Show.